Today we're talking about how the INFJ can thrive in a world full of sensors. So sensors, really from the viewpoint of MBTI, we all know they're intuitives and they're sensors, and if you look at the statistics, most people are sensors. So I assume most of you know what this is about, and INFJs very often feel out of place because sensors really care about different things. They are all about the present world, what's going on here, what's tangible, and INFJs very often feel not just out of place, but they feel like there's no way I can compete within this world, because every world is built on what its majority wants, and the majority not from how many people there are, but what really holds the power. And in our society, sensing is the thing that seems predominantly to be in power, just because the people we see on the street, the people we see in school, the people we see at work, they represent it. And I've struggled for a long time with this because I felt like there's something wrong with me and I cannot survive in this world. I, for the longest time, tried to pretend like I'm a sensor, and I know a lot of us INFJs can do that because we are chameleons at the end of the day. So we can pretend that we're similarly to the people that we're around. And then we ask ourselves, why doesn't this bring me joy? Everybody is all about fashion or trains or whatever it may be that's really popular in your friendship group or with the people you work with or whatever it may be. And every single time you try to get into it, you're like, that's so boring. Like, I don't want to do this. And so the alternative is that you actually, take a step back. You put yourself in a little cave and you feel like, okay, I just have to accept the fact that people around me seem to have fun, seem to enjoy their life, and I'm just stuck here, not knowing what's wrong with me, how I should change that. And on top of that, people, because they cannot really identify with what I'm about, they don't see my strengths, I'm not moving forward, neither in my career, not in my personal goals. But the truth is, once you've accepted that this is how it is, you can actually live an incredibly fulfilling life. You can use this knowledge to your advantage, and it can be just an extremely amazing ride as long as you know how to go about it, what to expect. And these are the things we're going to talk about today in detail. Just a quick reminder, the current INFJ Epic Life Bootcamp live round has launched, meaning we have our first live call on Saturday, so you have time until then to join. We are really looking forward to seeing you there. It's a growing community and it's an incredible experience. People keep on coming back. It's lifetime access because every single time we go through these rounds, we see how we all get uplifted. We all reach the next level in our INFJ Epic Life, and it's just an amazing thing all around. So find out all the information in the links in the description. Now back to today's topic. So this kind of thing always is an incredibly difficult thing to get to terms with, but the good thing is once you do, everything is going to be better. So you have to understand it's a hard process. It is going to be psychologically difficult, but this is the thing that we INFJs can do, psychologically difficult things. I talked in the last video about integrating our dark side, that this dark side is going to be the thing that's going to allow us to get to a better place when others may be too afraid to make a choice, may be afraid to be too emotionally invested in something. It's a place where we can make the hard choice. That's what personal growth is all about, right? It doesn't have to be painful. It doesn't have to be hurtful. But every single time you grow into who you are, you actually give up some kind of compromise that you've made in order to fit in. It's always a choice of, I'm going to fit in a little less and I'm going to create my own world a little bit more. And the way it really works in our mind is every single time you do create that new world for you, it just fills you up so much more that you just care less about fitting in. You create a new world, and within that new world, you actually start creating new friendships, new dynamics, like with people that you've already known even, but it's going to be completely different. And I always say, we as INFJs, we have like this hollow space, and very often when we're not on a good path, we absorb other people's emotional states to a very deep part into our core. That's when we feel really connected with others, when we feel overly responsible, when this codependent thing kicks in. I mean, if you think about it, being codependent actually means you care more about other people's issues than they care about their issues. Isn't that the truth, right? So if you know that this is our tendency, our default state, if we're not in a healthy space, then of course the alternative would be that hollow space where people can actually get absorbed in. So we absorb all of their energy. We actually start filling out that space ourselves. So imagine you have like this huge bubble around you. And now instead of allowing other people to come into here, like fill up everything that is around you, and your own energy is just this little thing, you actually start increasing your own energy. You become more. And so even if people get into your space, even if you absorb other people's emotional states, feelings, whatever it may be, it's always only up till here. And it's a completely different mindset because you, in a sense, are way safer psychologically, but you're also not going to experience intense emotions like to that level, right? Because of the security. It feels boring at first because, we as INFJs are used to this dramatic, like either love stories or some kind of, altercations. And it's this huge drama-filled life that actually makes our life exciting. And if you choose peace, if you choose, yourself and what you want, at first it will feel like you lose all of that. But that's not the case. It just feels like this at first. So again, like, why are we talking about this when we're talking about how to thrive with sensors? So this doesn't mean that you have to start your own business, you have to become a writer, you have to do your own thing. You can actually thrive in a corporate job with sensors as your coworkers, with sensors as your friend, but it's going to be from a different perspective. It comes from the perspective of, I understand, I bring something to the table that others don't. I was, for example, working in banking. I was a consultant in the European banking industry. I was surrounded by really intelligent people, but they were intelligent in the way an accountant is intelligent. They were really good at detail work, SE, SI stuff, really being picky about everything they did, and it was so not my world. But still, I was able to thrive in that environment because I had something that they didn't, and that is my vision. It's the fact that I know how to understand others and, for example, clients. So it didn't matter how well my colleagues were able to do the accounting or to do all other kinds of numbers or PowerPoint presentations and so on. I was able to get that deal done. So my way of showing up, the things I could add to the table, these are the things that I have to advocate. And these are the things you have to advocate. If you are trying to be an accountant when you're not, and this is of course just an example, but if you're trying to be something that you're not because everybody around you is an accountant, you're going to fall short of that. The thing that's going to make you thrive, and that's why I was talking about you have to fill yourself up, is to move forward and advocate for what you have to offer. And you can only do this if you're stable at your core. If you're not looking for validation from people that you've absorbed, that you try to emulate. No, you're saying, my deepest core is fine. I know I'm good at visions. I'm good at seeing new potentials. I'm good at having new ideas. I'm good at expressing these ideas on an emotional level in such a way that makes people feel safe around me. These are qualities that I bring to the table. And guess what? Most sensors don't have these qualities. Not to the extent you have. You don't have to tell it to their face. You don't have to brag about it or make it sound like I'm so much better than you, because we all know that's not the case. It's just a different thing. But that's the thing you have to value, because if you want others to value what you bring to the table, your intuitive being, your INFJ being, then you have to value it. People cannot value something that you don't value in yourself, because people will of course first be like, yeah, accounting is all there is to do. That's the only thing that matters. But only when you show up and you say, guess what? That's not true, because you might be as good as you want, but if you don't have me, you're not going to get that client. Again, this is just an example, but I guarantee you, you can apply this to absolutely everything. You can apply it to any kind of group that you're involved in, any kind of job that you're in. You have personal qualities that you bring to the table, and they matter. They will move the whole thing forward. They already have 10 people who have those S qualities. You bring the I. What can you offer that others can't? That is the thing to be proud of. That is the thing to put forward, instead of saying, oh, I'm going to try to be like everybody else. That is the way you're going to make it happen. That's how you thrive within a sensor's world. And then you can decide for yourself, how you're going to use it. But it's going to give you such an uplifting, amazing power. It's unbelievable. And I really wish you experience it for yourself. Remember, if you want more help with this process, then join the INFJ Epic Life Bootcamp, because we are all about that, empowering each other to really make it happen, live that INFJ Epic Life. There's accountability, there's friendship, there is just encouragement, and of course, all the tactics that we can't go into within these videos because it just goes deeper than this. Remember, all the information you have in the description. You have time until Saturday to join this live round. And if you want to watch another video now that is in alignment with today's topic, then watch the video Why the INFJ Keeps Their Distance.